Actually, although I see people for a variety of reasons, I generally see people who've experienced trauma. Trauma is one of those words that really gets thrown around loosely, but in my profession we actually have a specific definition for trauma. Generally, people who've experienced trauma have experienced some kind of injury to themselves, or even witnessing injury to others can be traumatic. So when we talk about trauma, we're talking about things such as childhood abuse, neglect, assault in adulthood, motor vehicle accident. Also, a loss of someone can be traumatic for an individual. So that's when we're talking about trauma, we're quite specific. And the reason we talk about injury to self is that what happens is when somebody's experienced that injury, they no longer feel safe, right? Their idea of their world, their belonging here and feeling safe in the world has been compromised. So typically too, when I talk about trauma, I also like to talk about resiliency. I think it's really important that we talk about that in terms of, yes, on one hand we have people who are suffering and in pain and not really, because of the trauma, the injury, they're sort of walking around like zombie-like, not really present, not enjoying their lives. It's important to obviously acknowledge that and what they've experienced, but also how have they been resilient and resistant? Like what have they done? What is it about them that has gotten them to where they are now, right? It's sort of, it's just a really important aspect to sort of hold, right, for myself and also for the client. They get to really see their strengths and their resiliency and how it is that they've survived up until this point, right? So that we can start to transform basically a holistic, more complete self for them, right? And I just think that's a respectful way of doing this work.